What's up guys, we're gonna BroBeats. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to use guitar loops. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. We're gonna be using this loop from the Remorse pack. So I'll just play it. So this is what it is right here, okay? Okay, and that pack would look like this right here. So we're using this exact loop here from the Remorse pack. I'll leave a link in the description for everything that I'm using that's relevant at the very least. I'll probably have a little sale or a coupon code or something like that because it's the first time you guys seen this, but yeah, that's it. So obviously these are loops. It's easy to kind of use loops. Obviously just look at the key and everything like that. I've already pre-did that. So we'll just grab an I forgot to load this up. We'll just load up a scale just so we have that. And I got a new keyboard, so it's kind of hard to, there we go. Okay, so we got the basic stuff out the way, and again, these are loops. It's not that difficult, right? Let's not act like this is the most difficult. So with this, there's going to be multiple versions. So we have this and this right now. Obviously we're already in key. These are already kind of in key or looped. So all you really need to do is just take off the excess fat, which is like this, right? And then how I would do this is just do a 16 bar loop. So I will copy this over. You can just delete this, right? That way it's not too repetitive, okay, when you're playing it. But we're not just gonna use these. I'm gonna add some melody to it as well. Now that we have this set up, one other thing that I would do when starting to like use loops and stuff like that, and a lot of people forget to do, is add textures. So I just have my own little texture here. This is from the Purgatory pack. Basically just go to your time here. You see this time. You would just right click there and go to 4 bars, and then you'll just have it like perfectly looped because it's just texture. It's not a melody. It doesn't really matter. And I will play this throughout like so. And I think even this color might be a little too, you might need to make this a little darker. I don't know. We'll see. Just make it a little bit darker so we can see the notes. But yeah, this is how I would set mine up, and I'll just play it from here real quick. Okay, so that's how I would set it up. Now, the reason I use texture is so I don't have to use that much melody, because obviously this is a guitar, so you don't really need to do much anyway because the guitar, it just sounds nice already. But just using any type of loop, I would recommend adding texture to fit the vibe. It'll just make adding melodies easier and adding your drums and stuff easier, so you don't have to do a lot of work. So we'll stop it there. Very simple. And then yeah, now we can just go ahead and I'll show you how to add like a little some chords to this if you want to add a melody on top. Looking for a deeper learning experience? Check out our courses over at Producer Portal. And if you're new to producing, the Ultimate Beginner course is perfect for getting you up to speed with the rest of us. Now let's jump back into the video. Now I'm going to be quickly showing you how to add your own melody to it. So what I'm gonna do first is we're just gonna drag in all of our like melody oriented stuff, and I'm gonna just right click, throw those in, and then on our main sound here, I'm gonna just throw in an EQ. We can do something like this. Maybe we could do one of these sharp ones like this. So I'm gonna just use this little sharp EQ here, and then I'm just going to squish it down so that we don't have all the frequencies out of the melody, right? Okay, the reason I'm doing this is so we can really focus and figure out what note sounds best with the melody. Because, you know, when you have all these strings and everything going, this is a pretty basic loop. But when you have like more advanced loops with a lot more sounds, especially if it's like synthy or electronic, it's harder to add. So first thing you have to figure out, what type of beat are you making, right? So definitely like an R&B, like tropical type of thing, right? So what I've done is I've just picked a sound that matches that. So like this, like tropical pluck, something like that to match, right? And just add some reverb, etc. So for this, how do we actually add a note? Well, it's very simple. Just go back to basics. Just click a note that you think sounds good, and then everything after that will fall into place. So I'm just gonna click around and figure out, okay, what note sounds best here. I'll just click it. Okay, that sounds good there. I like that one. All right, so there's tons of things you can do. The best way I would recommend is just using a dyad. So you can either make a chord upward, right, or you can make one backward. It's up to you, whichever one you think sounds best. We're probably gonna use this one because it's a minor chord. Okay, but if we went the other way, we don't want that diminished because we don't want too much tension. So I'm gonna just leave it like this. And then for this one, we can probably go down because that A sounded nice. And then we're going to open it up a bit. Now it sounds a little weird because the guitar loops, it's like offset a little bit. So don't worry about that. The drums will fix that. So let's play it. And you can see it kind of meshes well. Remember, we put all these filters on top. So this will mesh in better when we take that off. But for right now, I just want to focus on this. And let's add a little something in here. Let's not just do something super basic. I'm gonna do a 1/4. And we can just play around with some of these notes in here. So we do a flam. Let's see how that would sound. It's going to be a little off at first, right? I'm not going to do it perfect. And that's fine for now, right? And we'll just keep this going throughout. Again, I got a new keyboard. It's kind of hard to get the right notes because the keyboard is a little weird. So I got to make sure that I press the right buttons. Okay, I think that's fine. We'll undo this. And remember, our loop is a little offset. So it's going to sound a little weird right now. When we add our drums, it should sound pretty fine. Or if we need to adjust the loop, it doesn't really matter, right? But I think it's fine the way it is because it matches the metronome, so it's all good. I'll play it one time through. Very simple. This is very basic. All right, so there's our little melody there. So now the easiest part of all, now we just add the 808 and then just throw in a few drums and the beat is done. Let's go ahead and do that. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our 808. We're gonna be using the 808 from the Purgatory from this drum kit here. Again, everything will be linked in the description. So let's go here. And now this is where it can get a little tricky because it's a loop. So it's like, okay, what note do you use? Well, 808 pattern is just a single line melody, right? It's just, that's literally what an 808 pattern is, right? Or if you're doing the trap beat, it will look something like this. It's literally that simple. So we already did this, right? So if you look here, we already used the notes that we knew were going to work. So it could be this B, and you could use tricks if you want to. So if you want to use the 5th from this B, so remember, if you go up, you keep making the chord, you'll hit that note, and you could literally just use the notes we have here. Okay, so remember B, and you could try the notes, right? It doesn't need to be exact. So we'll try some notes. So let's do our B, and then we'll place them in our like 808 spots. And then we could do our 5th. It's literally that simple. All right. And then we're just going to copy it over and then just add some other notes just to like switch it up. And you could do a lot more than this, but I think for like something like this is very melody oriented. You want to leave it open, right? You want to leave it open for like the artist or whatever to, you know, do his thing. But I'm going to turn this up. I really like really hard hitting 808s. And then for our kick, we could just do this and then Alt K, boom. And yeah, and from here you can just kind of take stuff out if you need, but I feel like let's listen to it. And I am going to double my kicks here. I'm not gonna go into detail. Every video I pretty much explain why I do this, but just want to add a little low end to this without having to add plugins. Okay, I think that sounds fine, right? And remember, there's still mixing that goes on, so as long as it's sounding nice right now, we can like make it sound even better later on. So I think that's good for our low end. Lastly, we're gonna go ahead and take care of our drums. Now it's time for the drums. So it's gonna be extremely easy because the nature of this beat is very simple. So first we can start with our little hi-hats here. We could just kind of do a little basic pattern. We can spice it up a little bit. Let's do, where's our C? Here it is. And then, you know, we could add a little something every now and then. So you could do like a chop here, and I'll zoom in because it's kind of way too small. Typically I like to start, let me see. Let's go back, do 3. And one little trick you can do if you want a little bit more rhythm, you can, where this grid hits, you can pull up the hi-hat a bit, or you can pull the other ones down. It's up to you. It's not something you need to do. It's just something you can try. And you can see how there's more emphasis right here, so you can try something like that as well. Let's just move on to this. We can just kind of let's copy this again. New keyboard, it's kind of hard to get the right stuff down. All right, from here, let's just do something like this. And I'll just keep that, and we'll just repeat it, and we'll just make it a little bit more simple over here. Let's see. Let's do like, and that'll do, right? It doesn't need to be any more complex than that. And then for our just regular drums, right, just, you know, just throw these in, put it on bar, okay. And then yeah, just add our little other perks in here. So like, kind of like it right there. And I'll put this on 64 so it loops. And I think this can go on bar. Or we'll just put it on 64 to make sure it loops. And it's this simple, okay? And then you could do a little bit of mixing, which we can do right now, just a little bit. You don't need to do a ton, right? And I'll just let like the full thing play as I do it. So yeah, and I don't think we need to add the drums in there. I don't really feel like it. I'll just kind of edit the melody a bit. And then I'm using this EQ to kind of like just reshape it how I want. So just taking out frequencies I like, don't like. It's that simple. So that's why you see me turn it up all the way. So like if I were to add this in, I would decrease it to somewhere like this, right? Because I don't want it to be super crazy. You can see how that made it a lot clearer to like hear, or a lot easier on the ears. And then since we kind of lowered everything, you can kind of add stuff here. So I don't know if you wanted to add, I'm not going to do too much, right? Because we're pretty much done here. You can add like delays, reverbs, just turn that down, turn the decay up, turn that low cut up. And you can just kind of play around with this. And I want to make sure this isn't taking out a little too much. And this is how we can kind of make a pad out of the loop, right? So we just kind of did that live here, but yeah, you can just kind of make a pad out of it if you want to have like a low part. I'm not going to do like arrangement, obviously, but that's what it'll sound like. And then if you want the guitar to sound a different way, you can always pull up those strings so that they're high end, which will obviously add to the crispiness. And then you can take this stuff off as well. And I don't want that to actually be like that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.